Yo, welcome in everybody. My name is Sweet Phil, and today right here I'm doing my build guide and showcase of my lightning trap assassin. I've been using this on stream. I'm going to be doing a drop highlight video here shortly. So this is the complete build guide and show of the build I've been using. Now this is a pretty standard lightning trap assassin. I'm going to jump out. People like seeing the actual gameplay and see how good it works first. So I'm going to show that to you right now. As we jump out there though, make sure you slap that like button and subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to try to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's a tough ask, but just real quick, make sure you are subscribed up. Now when you're out here, obviously battle order and all that good stuff up. You slap on burst of speed so you can run faster and lay your traps faster. And go ahead and get out here. Go ahead and throw down 4 lightning and then 1 death sentry and pop, pop, pop. Usually after there's a couple bodies, I'll throw down a bunch of death sentries because then they'll blow up a million other things around. But you can see it works pretty darn good. Here's another little champion pack. Drop down the lightning sentries, death sentries, bang, bang, bang. And this is players 3 difficulty that I am doing right here. Just figured with the kill speed and stuff like that I didn't want to go up any higher. And I actually started doing these runs on players 3 difficulty, but I was level like 65, and when I finished up these runs, I'm all the way up to level 89 now. You see I'm actually halfway to 90. Crazy enough. So once a few bodies get down, I actually just spam around death sentry and you just see stuff explode so freaking fast. It's crazy. Just how I like to play. I know it's not what people say is optimal, but it's just kind of what I like to do. Nothing's worse for me anyways than a bunch of dead bodies laying around that you wish were popping off. So I just showed you me using it in the pits. It works pretty darn good. I specifically put this character together for farming in the pits, and I knew I'd magic find and level as I was playing, so my resistances and stuff like that, not everything's absolutely perfect. And this is single player. I do not have an infinity yet, so I can't break all immunities and stuff like that. And actually, a matter of fact, you can look right here. I haven't even finished the game yet on single player. I just wanted to go back and start farming with this character right away, and it's not required to finish the game in order to start magic finding. So that's what I went ahead and did. So we'll look at the stats over here. You can see I'm level 89. I'm halfway to 90, and I did all this leveling just from magic finding in the pits. Like I said, starting at level 65. Now, the strength, you want to wear just enough here to wear your gear. You only need enough to get over the 156. I do have, you can see over here, a Spirit Monarch on. That's the route I decided to go. The strength ended up getting pushed up even higher from my Enigma. It's a-okay. Dexterity, just you don't really have to put any extra into that if you don't want to for this exact build. And I pumped the rest of vitality none into the energy down here. You can see the poison res is max. The other ones aren't quite. You could get some small charms. You could throw on some other gear to cap those out if you really wanted to. Let's go ahead and take a look at the skill tree. Martial arts tree, really easy. Don't put no points into here. Over on the shadow disciplines, I just put 1 hard point here into burst of speed. This is what I use pretty much all of the time. There is a case for some of these other skills, but for particularly in the pits, I did not do it, but you can put 1 point into fade. That way, if you do get any curses on, you can actually pop on fade, and it kind of overrides whatever curses you get. Or if you just need the resistance help, you could go ahead and do that, but then you lay down the traps slower. I don't like it. Single player, softcore, I would never use it, so I decided not to put any points into it. Over here, the claw mastery was just to get down to burst of speed. Almost you have to have this because you lay your traps so much faster, obviously. Psychic hammer just to get down to cloak of shadows. I do use that occasionally on things like cursed archers in the pits. Archers can really get after you. I'll drop that down on them so they can't see me. Another one you could use here is mind blast. Good for like in the chaos sanctuary, good for cows. In the pits, not necessary, so I did not put a point to that. That could be something you could put a point into though, in order for extra safety. But this character has a ton of keybinds. Keep that in mind. So if you're gonna keybind fade, you're gonna keybind mind blast, you're gonna run out of keys. Like the whole keyboard's taken up. It's like you're playing a piano when you're using this character. Hopping over the traps here now, we have lightning sentry maxed out right here. We've got the synergies maxed out right here for lightning sentry. We've got fire blast almost maxed out, and I decided to go ahead and just max out death sentry just to get the most damage out of that as well. This one, there is an argument to some people will just do a 1 point into death sentry, so it's popping bodies, and that's all they'll put into that. I decided to max it out because none of these other things really benefited me in any way, really, especially down in the pits. But I have heard that 1 point in death sentry type of build thing, but that's not the way I wanted to go when hopping down in the pits. Now we'll go take a look at the gear, and it's actually usually the most interesting part, but on this particular build, it's not super interesting. It's pretty much a standard caster type of setup. It's caster slash get the most skills type of setup. You could do a few other options, but I'm not going to go over a bazillion different options for everything. Heart of the Oak, you could go with some super cool trap claws if you did find something. I'm pretty much only going to talk about other options for the two, the main hand and the offhand here. You could go with some trap claws or some bar tucks or different things like that. I decided to go with Hoto so I get the cast rate so I can teleport around faster and all the other great stuff that is on the Hoto. And like I said, you could go with, you can actually dual wield claws. So if you didn't want to have the Spirit Monarch over here, if you weren't teleporting around, you know, have another trap claw over here. Got the Shake up here for magic finding. This is going to be the best option for every single character in the game. You got the magic find, damage reduction, life, mana skills. Amulet here, I have Amara's, not a great one. I just got high enough level to throw on caster amulets, but I decided not to switch around the whole build at this point. But if you got a caster amulet on here, you might be able to swap around some of the gear to get to the break point that you need for teleporting at a reasonable rate. Possibly, but I decided to stick with Mara's great option. We got Enigma for the teleport. Everything else on Enigma, it's absolutely nasty. Over on the boots, I went with the 49 War Traps here. Gotta get that magic find if you're down magic finding in the pits. We've got the Arachnus Mesh, 1 to all skills and more cast rate so you can get to that break point. Now I did need 1 FCR ring in order to get to the break point with the current setup. Like I said, if you had a good caster amulet or almost any caster amulet, you could swap out this ring for an SOJ or something. But to get to the break point, that's what I had to use. And over here, we got a Raven Frost. Man, throwing down traps when you're frozen is painful. So you're going to want to have cannot be frozen somewhere. You can have a Tranks Belt and something else. But in this case, Raven Frost, great option for here. Trap skillers, whatever, however many you could get. Agides, obviously. And then I have Magic Find Charms. Because I'm down in the pits, I got the best Magic Find Charms I can get. You can get yourself a Torch and Annie. I know this is not an Assassin Torch single player, so I just threw on any torch just to get the attributes and the all res. Hopefully I can get an Assassin Torch, I guess, on single player here eventually in the not so distant future. Obviously on Switch, I've also Call to Arms and whatever spirit over here just to get the extra skill for it. So there is that. And also we'll take a look at the Mercenary. Now I went with kind of a budget Mercenary option. Mana isn't really that big of a deal, so I went ahead and I got an Obedience over here. Tons of full redos drop everywhere in the pits. You could throw an Insight over here. Infinity would be optimal. Haven't found that another Burr Rune on single player to make Infinity. As soon as I can, it's going on every chance I can use it. But Obedience, ton of damage. It does have a little cold damage, unfortunately. It can shatter bodies, but if it doesn't shatter the body, it does get kills very quickly to deal with any little bit of lightning immunes there are. Lots of damage, crushing blow, and also that way you can get the first kill hopefully quick. That body start popping from the Death Sentry, taking out the mobs and monsters even faster. Just got the generic kind of budget option for the Act 2 Mercenary up here, Talarash's Mask, and a Treachery here on the body. So it works out pretty good, and I actually have a Might Mercenary. Didn't want to have the cold aura just so that more of the bodies weren't shattering and stuff like that, and the Might will do a little bit more damage, hopefully getting that first kill a little bit faster. So yeah, that's the Assassin I've been using a ton lately, and I just found one of the rarest items in the entire game. I'm actually going to put a thumbnail to the little clip up here of that video. If you haven't seen me drop this item, it's super mega hype. Make sure you check it out right now.